With car season finally here, it's time to start looking at what we need to do to get ready for a first autocross event. While what you need to do can vary from person to person, from car to car, there are some things that no matter if you're a complete novice or a seasoned veteran, you need to do them before you go to any autocross event. So grab your checklist, sign up for an event, fill out any waivers you need to do, because today on Cars and Cones, we're going to get ready to run. So, up first on our list of things to do is remove all the floor mats and empty out anything from the interior of the vehicle as well as the trunk. Now, the idea of removing the floor mats is fairly straightforward. If one was to get jammed under the brake pedal while you're on course, not being able to stop the car could be the difference between completing the run and needing to go shopping for a new car. While we're in the vehicle, we also want to remove any phone chargers, air fresheners, or any other trinkets kicking around. During hard cornering, these can easily become projectiles, and the last thing you want is to be hit by something while on course. This is also a good time to check around the pedal area for any rocks or debris that could impede the motion of any of the pedals in the vehicle. Once the passenger compartment's emptied out, I also remove everything from my trunk. Things like subwoofers, cleaning supplies, unnecessary tools, or anything else not only add weight to the vehicle during your runs, but they also make a lot of clanging noises if they start bouncing around when you're actually out on course. Personally, I leave the spare as well as the hard plastic floor that goes over it until I get to the event and then remove them both day of. It never hurts to have the spare just in case something happens, and that hard plastic floor makes a great place to put everything you take out of your vehicle while you're actually out on course. With that done, let's come to our list, check off a couple of items, and move on to the next thing. Up next, we'll want to check a couple of things under hood. We want to make sure oil, brake fluid, and coolant are all filled properly, and make sure that the overall health of all the fluids is also acceptable. To check the brake fluid, we can use something like this cheap little brake fluid tester. Basically, you just turn it on, and it gives you the range that it operates under. You just take it, stick it in the fluid, and we are very good. As more water is added to the fluid, that bar will go up and up, with many of these eventually having an auditory alert when it gets well beyond a safe range. Up next, and with the engine cold, we'll check the coolant in both the radiator as well as the overflow tank. If you're a little low, refill is necessary with distilled water and whatever coolant is required for your vehicle. Last, we're going to take a look at the oil level and condition. Since I've just recently changed mine, the level is exactly where I want it, and it looks like basically brand new oil because it is. With that done, we come back to our checklist, check off a couple more things, and then we'll finish up under hood. The next couple items we can do at the same time. First one we want to do is make sure the battery is tied down and isn't going to go flopping around. Just grab your terminals, give them a tug, pull the battery, and I can drag the whole car back and forth, so I don't think that's going anywhere. And then I have a catch can installed, so we'll just come over here, and that's pretty much empty. It's not surprising, as I've only put about 500 kilometers on since I did an oil change, but it never hurts to check anyway. With that done, we check a couple more items off our list, and now it's time to get the car up in the air and start taking some wheels off. As you're getting the car up into the air, listen for any weird clunks or noises, as this can indicate something that's starting to wear out or may have already failed. Once you have the wheel off, now's a good time to just look around and make sure everything's tight. Reach in, grab the end links, give them a little pull around, reach up, grab the spring. Give it a tug. See if there's any broken coils. See if the bump stops are in good condition. They're mounted anywhere. Just look around, see if there's any fluid leaks anywhere. Last, we're going to take a look at the slide pins on the calipers. They're in pretty good shape. They do need to be re-greased, but since I have new ones anyway, we're just going to replace the little rubber boot, the dust boot, and the whole pin itself. One of the nice things of the ceramic brake lube that I'm using is it's got a nice purple color to it. So as you apply it, you can see exactly how much you have on both the pins as well as in any boots or anywhere that you need to put it. Once you have everything properly greased, reinsert the pins and we'll move on to the next step here. While we have the wheel off and the brakes already apart, now's a great time to take a look at the condition of the brake pads. We just want to make sure there's adequate pad thickness left, as well as look for any crumbling sections or any scoring or glazing that may be happening around the pad and rotor. While we're still down here, this is also a good chance to just throw a brake bleeder on and make sure there's no contaminated fluid or any air pockets. Now that we've taken a look at our brakes and suspension components, it's time to go back, check off a couple more things on our list, and now we'll take a look at our wheels and tires. As we look around the wheel here, we're looking for any cracks in any spokes, any damage to any lip of the rim, any bends, chips, or anything like that, or any chunks taken out of the sidewall of the tire. You want to make sure you check the front and the back of the tire, as hidden damage is still damage and can still ruin your day. Also make sure that any weights for the tire are still there, and then just roll the tire around a little bit, looking for any major damage to any tread blocks, or if there's any weird wear patterns, or just any other extra rubber that you pick up from the track. This tire has probably close to 60 runs on it at this point, so there is a little bit of interesting wear that's been happening along the edges of the tire. With that said, back to the list we go. We're getting close to the end of it now, at least. Checking off one more item. Now, it's time to go put those tires on the car. With the tire on, just do a quick double check and make sure that nothing's rubbing on any braking components or suspension components of the vehicle. Moving to the back, it's more of the same. Double check for anything that's leaking, loose, or worn out for both your brakes as well as any suspension components, and then we put the tire on. Once again, in the back, we want to make sure that there's no points that it's going to be rubbing on the vehicle or on the brakes. Even if you've run the wheels before, it's a good thing to always be in the habit of double checking everything you do. Now that the car is back on the ground, it's a good chance to just check the tire pressure on each tire. Although you'll probably want to be driving to the event on a different pressure than what you run, having them kind of close will at least minimize the amount of time that you're playing with tire pressures before your first run. I'm trying something a little bit different for this event, going with 28 psi in the front and 32 in the back cold, aiming for hot pressures closer to 30 to 32 in the front and closer to 36 psi in the rear. I'm hoping this will help with both front end bite as well as allowing a little bit more rear end rotation on tight cornering. With that checked off, it's time to go torque everything down. Make sure to torque your wheels according to whatever the manufacturer spec, and double check if you're not sure. And that's the last of our major things on our to-do list portion of our checklist here. Now that we're done, it's a good time to take a quick trip around the car, double check everything one more time, maybe go for a quick drive up the road, and then we can look at our things that we need to pack for the next day. Looking at our checklist for things to pack, some things you can load up into the vehicle the day before the event. Things like your helmet, chalk, or any tools or compressors, they don't really care if they sit in the back of the car for any amount of time. Other things like your sunscreen, your food, water, or anything, you probably want to pack the morning of so that they're not melting in the back of the car on any hot summer days. And you wouldn't want to eat something that's spoiled from sitting out in the heat for 2 days and end up in the bathroom puking instead of being out on course having fun. With that said, this seems like a pretty good place to wrap up. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, after I finally get back out on course for the first time this season.